I mean, Money 2020 is one of the biggest fintech events in Europe and or in the world actually.
As we cover all of the latest innovations in finance and technology, I'm pleased to be joined at Money 2020 Europe by Kuda founder and CEO Babs Ogundey. Babs, it's great to have you here in our studio setup. Of course, lots of action happening over the course of these next few days. What brings you to Money 2020?
Thank you for having me. I'm here because Money 2020 is one of the biggest fintech events in Europe and or in the world actually. I'm a speaker and I'm going to be doing something really interesting, talking about sort of the funding landscape. And again, this is something that for African startups has been a huge topic. And I'm really looking forward to that, and also just to networking and meeting lots of people in the space.
Amazing. Well, we'll talk about the funding landscape in a moment, but for our viewers who are watching, wondering what does Kuda do, what can you tell them?
So we're a digital bank. We're Africa focused, and that's looking to bank every African on the planet, be it on the ground in Africa and also in the diaspora. We're actually launching in Canada pretty soon, later on this year, around October, Q4 of this year. So we're a full service bank. We issue credit, we take deposits, so everything you can think of what a neobank does, that's exactly what Kuda does. We launched in 2019 and to date we've grown pretty quick, over 7 million customers and growing.
And how will Canada, specifically that expansion, help you reach your goals?
Yeah, so at the moment we are in Nigeria. That's our only sort of operational country right now. And so we're serving Nigerians and offering financial services. One of the things we want to do is to offer a remittance product. So Canada helps us to do that. We will be able to offer accounts to both Canadians and also non-Canadians. Again, targeting the African population. Canada is one of the fastest growing countries in terms of immigration. So it feels like a really good place for us to launch this product. And and it helps us. We're going to be able to offer USD, GBP, Euro, Canadian dollars for our customers to be able to send back home and as well as receive later on down the line.
Babs, you mentioned that you are going to be joining as a speaker, this event taking place in Amsterdam, about the funding landscape. What more can you share about the state of play there?
Yeah, I think we had a great run, like the whole world around 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
However, things have kind of dried up a little bit. But the reality is, African businesses have always been resilient, and I always believe that we actually need a higher portion of the funding to be able to build great businesses. Just because the infrastructure is not as set, you have to do a lot more to build like really great businesses. But the potential returns and reward for taking that risk and that bet on Africa is absolutely massive because it's untapped, pretty much still. But we've been fortunate to have like amazing investors, and we're hoping and working really hard to sort of just sell the prospects of Africa to more investors.
Is there a way that you can quantify, Babs, the market opportunity out there for your company?
Absolutely. Potentially we're looking at a niche population of over 2 billion people to serve. That's a pretty big niche. So yeah, and it's not just, we're looking at unbanked, underbanked, unhappily banked, and Africa, I would say, is one of the sort of biggest markets for that. And as I said before, it's largely untapped. There is growing interest. It's becoming more and more mainstream. So, it's growing, and I think Africa is just the next frontier in terms of economy, in terms of population, and Kuda is set right at the forefront of that to really take advantage of the tsunami that's coming. The opportunity is unimaginably very, very large.
Yeah. And when it comes to expanding, I'm sure licensing is part of that as well. Walk me through that process for your firm.
Yeah, so licensing is one of the most important things for our business. Obviously, we're a bank, and we, in the true sense of being a bank, to enable us to take deposits and look after people's money, we have to be regulated. We have to have a banking license. So in every jurisdiction that we plan to go into, that's the route that we're taking. In Nigeria, we do have a license. We have a banking license. In Canada, we've gotten a license in Canada as well. We have another license in Tanzania. And we're working on licenses in 2 or 3 other countries as we speak. But we really have to just make sure we engage with the regulators very early on. We enable them to understand what we are trying to do, why we bring value, and really see the regulator more as a partner rather than rather than a school teacher.
Yeah.
But it's a process, and it's something that we've become quite good at doing over time. Just managing that very, very important relationship with a very important stakeholder.
Mm-hmm. How much of your company is focused on remittance as well?
At the moment, not a lot. As I said, we're in Nigeria, so we're offering a full banking service on the ground. Canada is going to be the outlet for remittance. So we will know how successful that is when we launch it. We're very excited, very optimistic about the prospects. I think I read somewhere there's, on an annual basis into Africa, there's about $70 billion that comes in remittance. We're looking forward to being part of that, and it's very exciting. And we think we have a product that people that do remit money back to Africa are really going to enjoy using.
Babs, thank you so much for joining. My final question to you is, what trends are you seeing in international business today?
I think obviously everybody talks about AI, which is, I also believe AI can sort of be very important to the world, and in finance as well, like credit underwriting, customer service. So that's like super interesting, but also, staying on remittance. I think there's a huge growth right now in stable coins. It's always been around, but now I think this year and into next year, I see a lot of traction in that. I think just keep an eye out for the performance of stablecoin and companies that are using that to make moving money a lot easier.
Babs, thank you so much for joining. Of course, the founder and CEO of Kuda.
Thank you for having me.